Okay, guys, hope you're well. We're going to go to Ask Scruff on the Discord, and then we're going to answer a question for Casper. So it's a little salute to you, my kid. Now, this question really depends on where you are in the world and how much you need, but the principle will be roughly the same. So, hope you had a good birthday. I certainly did. A few little winos and beer, and a good time with Winky because we went away. Quick question about transitioning to full-time trading. Something you want to work towards. Yeah, it's an excellent goal to have. Been using one of the journals, get a feel for the numbers, and worked out to be around 138 a day to cover around 3,000 a month. Where I'm stuck is what kind of account size without stretching. Right, okay. So first of all, what I'll have to do is sort of flick it over into sort of my wage maker calculator. Now, if I go onto a wage maker and you want, well, roughly around 3,000 a month, that's going to be 36 grand a year. So the yearly wage that you're working to is that. Okay, so you see all the numbers flick round. Now that'll give you £3,000 per month. Now that's across 12 months, but it's assuming that you're only working 48 weeks. So it's a net 48 weeks. So that allows you a bit of time for loss, and it also allows you to take some time off, because you should take some time off. Now, the next part of this is you have to figure out how many times you're going to go to market, what your average win is, etc., etc. So just to make life easy, I know how you trade and I know the products you trade. If you can achieve a 15 pip move 2 times a day, okay, what you need to do is now come down here to find out roughly where 2 times a day is. Right, so if we pull this up, so put that onto there, and we'll start having a look around, see where 2 times is. So, right, we're at the top of the tree. So as you come down, on this left-hand side is what you need as a position size versus the pips. Well, we're looking for 15 pips twice a day. So if I run down this column here, computer's running a bit slow, guys. Give me a second. It's coming into it now. So we work out 2 times a day is £4.90. All right, about £5. So if you do £5 a point, 15 pips, and do it twice, well, you need roughly 5,000 to open up the position, and rule of thumb is 2 times the account. So you're looking at 10,000 quid. Now, on that 10,000 quid, you've also got to be really careful, because it's still relatively small. But to be safe, about 10 grand. And then what you do is you stick to this mantra. Now, I've done a video about emotional trading on the Ask Scruff. Now, that was earlier. And that kind of runs into this as well, because you can get these wages. And the reason I know that is because I've done it in front of you, in front of the squad. And if you go through the Vanguard series, you'll see what I've done. Now, as you get higher into your salary, so when you want a 6-figure salary, it actually gets harder. It gets harder the higher you go. And that's where less is more comes into play. Now, you'll hear all the gurus and you hear everybody bang on about 2% of account and all of that. It's bollocks, right? Because that is a perfect sales pitch. If you're looking at this as a business, the first thing you need to do is understand what your return on investment is. So if you've got 10 grand in the account, you can safely do £5 a point, right? But once you start getting into £5 a point, it doesn't take long to put holes in the account if you're over trading. So that's why I said you work it on a minimum criteria. 2 times a day, 15 pips. Pretty much anybody who's got a bit savvy can do that every single day. Every single day. And the reason why you do it is you wait. Now, if this is your job, you've got all the time in the world to do it. So just because you switch screen on at 8 o'clock doesn't mean you take a trade at 8 o'clock. You might take you 2 or 3 hours to get in. So you're looking to do one trade on a morning, one on an afternoon. And when you're paid, you walk. That's how you transition across into full time. You're not gambling anymore. You're not playing with the charts anymore. You're just doing it step by step by step. And the rule of thumb is £1 for every 1,000. Okay, so if you've got 5 grand, that's a £5 position. And to do it safely without stretching and damaging the account, it's double. And that'll allow you for margins, etc., etc. And it also helps you breathe easy. But if you max the account out each time, that's when you have problems. So you need about 10 grand if that's what you're after. And then from there, it's just little and often, get in, get out, and try and let your winners run that little bit further. But if you're wrong, make certain you get out. Because when your capital's gone, so is your livelihood. Hope that helps. Catch you soon.